Biberen. Biberen? Wie zeg je special met de emmers? Twee streepjes niet naar.
Yiddish was the main language spoken by Jews in Europe more than a half a century ago. It fused together Hebrew, German, and Slavic languages. In the early 20th century, when Jews started immigrating to the United States, they brought a booming Yiddish theater industry to New York that would thrive along 2nd Avenue on the Lower East Side until the 1950s. It was a theatrical movement that is argued to have inspired vaudeville and shaped the Broadway musical as we know it today.
2nd Avenue is gone. You know, what we thought of as 2nd Avenue has disappeared.
You had the Yiddish Art Theater. The house still stands today. Now it's East Village Cinema. The stars that are in front of a Chase Bank, but they're walked all over. You can barely read the names.
There were dozens of venues and people flocked by the thousands.
And you had a whole subculture of Yiddish theater artists.
Today, Yiddish theater productions are few and far between.
Ladies and gentlemen, Godzilla's Moil. Godzilla's Moil.
However, we met one theater troupe who not only is keeping Yiddish theater alive, but bringing it to the streets of New York.
My name is Jenny Romaine.
My name is David Mandelbaum.
I'm Shane Baker.
I am the maestra of an intergenerational mob of Yiddish street performers called the Sukkos mob.
I'm the artistic director and founder of the New Yiddish Rep.
I perform Yiddish theater, and I'm a Gentile. Is it uncommon for a Gentile to speak Yiddish? The only thing I can say is that these days it's uncommon for a Jew to speak Yiddish.
The native speakers are dying out, but I feel like it's my job and my interest to try to keep working with the language as much as I can and to honor it.
What are we going to lose if we don't keep Yiddish theater alive? We're going to lose our past. We're going to lose our identity. What we do today is going to determine whether or not there is any substantial Yiddish theater in the future.
We're trying to bring the streets to Yiddish theater. We're trying to bring the masses to Yiddish theater.
My people at the JCC, don't you want to be a member of the
The Sukkos Mob is a group of 20 Yiddish street performers led by Jenny. They perform every fall during the week-long Jewish harvest festival known as Sukkos.
She's wonderfully creative.
She's, as they say in Yiddish, a bren. I mean, she's got the spirit, and she comes up with insanely wonderful things.
We try to play like at least 10 to 20 times during the holiday of Sukkot. So we just like hit and hit and hit and hit, and they're quick, and we set up, and the show's about half an hour long, and very often we get chased by the cops.
A large part of this type of theater is spectacle.
When we take the Sukkos mob to the streets, I think that the first reaction is going to be astonishment.
You're likely to see us at Union Square, Times Square, Harlem, different places in Brooklyn, and it's Sukkos all around town.
Trenne mal raus, Vindanen!
Tag ich von den guten Zeiten verbracht mit meiner Tate.
Das genommen ein Mensch mit der Blech auf dem Hittel, gegeben ein grünem gestempelten Quittel. The Sukkos mob is out there to show the kick-ass side of the Yiddish world.
Well, we're having the first rehearsal of the Sukkos mob, and it's very exciting. We have never played instrumental music during business hours in this new studio. I don't know what's going to happen. We could get shut down, hopefully we will. We're going to have the musicians here. We're going to learn a bunch of music. We're going to read through the script a couple times and try to attack the beast of this new show. The introduction to the piece is like a series of 3 dances, and then we go into the sci-fi narrative. The dance moves, there's one dance that's like clouds, so that people dance with sheep's wool clouds. There's another dance that's a procession, which represents the years of wandering in the desert. And there's another dance which represents panic.
It's all so crazy and unusual. Here you can just go wild. I can't help but laugh and smile throughout the whole thing. I'm just having such a good time. I can't wait to see how people react.
It's a nature holiday, so we made all the costumes out of sheep's wool. Between the musicians and the mobsters and the designers, I cannot believe how talented all these people are.
Who's the biggest star in Yiddish theater in New York?
I'm the biggest star in the Yiddish world today.
How are you and David getting along during this?
David? He's not doing bad for an old man.
Ouch!
Expect by noon 1, he might need a nap. Is David jealous?
No, I'm not jealous. I have an abiding respect for his ability.
I'm gonna clean up the floor with these people. It's gonna be the Sukkos mop when I'm through with them, man.
David and Shane, I would say, are magnificent. They're a great addition to this whole crew, so I'm delighted.
Jenny was telling me that you and David both asked for your own dressing rooms.
Well, not together.
Think you'll be ready for next week?
Well, it has to be ready because we have an assignment. Yeah, that's the thing about show business. The show must go on.
Are we gonna be ready to perform next week? Not without my dressing room, we're not.
Since it's common for street performers to be harassed by police in New York City, it was clear that this was no easy task to pull off.
So leben der Sukkos Mob bis hinter 20.
With the logistical nightmare of finding a parking space in Manhattan and unloading a truckload of props, costumes, and instruments, they somehow managed to pull it off, and it didn't take long for a huge crowd to gather around.
People who haven't seen Yiddish theater are going to see something extremely interesting and extremely exciting.
I thought it was fabulous, and I love that we just spoke Yiddish on the street without saying anything. Sukkos! Ayante von der Schnitzeit! And people look at each other like, what is that language? Then they start to figure out what's going on.
We worry for ourselves and the planet!
People got into it. The crowd reacted pretty well. I have to say, it's 25 minutes. I've been in 3-hour shows that haven't been as strenuous.
Some true street spectacle. Aber von der Hering ist mein Herz zugangen.
I'm not trying to save Yiddish theater, but what I can do is take responsibility for building.
It's a way to say to the entire city, hey, we're still here, we're alive, and we're still fighting to keep this alive.